request Divya to please go ahead with the presentation.
Thank you, Sudhir. Thank you, APAC team, for this opportunity. And I think I want to pick up from where Mr. Amola Arora left this, that learning has never stopped, irrespective of our challenges. I think India, in its spirit and the education domain, all its stakeholders, and big salute to the educators actually, who really stood up in one voice and said that no matter what, the India will learn, children will learn, and we may work through different modes and mediums. And these 9 months have actually helped us to see and look at a path ahead which we have never ever really endorsed before this. I think we had our own barriers to thought and mind and heart, both about how remote learning could happen, how could it sustain itself, and how we could evolve over a period of time. I think never more it has been true when it says necessity is the mother of invention, and what it can push you to do given the circumstances. I want to share my screen and actually take you to what all is happening today, as we are now very much focused on an evolution of a way of, if I may say, blended learning. Today, we are actually looking at 4 top cases of online learning in the K-12 segment. Either people are looking at live classes through video conferencing formats, or they're looking at homework or assessment or communication. And if you look at all of these cases, etc., in the last 8 months, what we are looking at going ahead is various possibilities that are opening up for a blended learning pattern to happen in India. We are very much pivotally focused to actually look at redefining our academic calendar. Why do we need to have only 180 or 210 working days when you can define a learning calendar now basis a good digital model that can evolve? Well, the last 8-9 months at FlipLearn, we've seen and helped almost more than 300 schools, more than 3 lakh students, 15,000 teachers to actually bring their academic life to life, if I may say, and to connect them and to work with them and to enable them with the right kind of content, with the right kind of tools that may help them to actually stay. And because of that piece, I took this entire decision to make the entire e-learning platform free of cost for any school in the country to adopt, and say that, you know, it does not matter which and where part of you are maybe in the country, but we will help you go online and sustain it, and even help you create a blending learning system even once when the schools open up. I think what you're looking at in any kind of a blended learning model, the first piece obviously is what will it be for every stakeholder that is involved in it. And if you look at it at the heart, the most bigger movers and shakers of any LMS are actually the educators who are a part of it. And when you're looking at what all may a educator may want to do, whether it's live class or homework or create your own tests or have a question bank and get report cards, get restricted access, get the control, get the balance between enough freedom and control to leverage both strongly in an online system, or at the heart of it for children, to get access to high quality learning content beyond live classes, to go back and study in their own space, uh, to have a space where they can compete safely, where they can make mistakes, where they can actually attempt any homework or test. And these are parts that enable not only the school time that the teachers and the children are together, but beyond school hours, when children in their own pace can actually define their personalized learning path. And that is why the whole blended learning LMSs are not just about enabling schools during the school hours, but also beyond school hours, creating space for children to explore and expand their understanding and learning as per their own personalized needs and requirements. You know, there is a very marquee feature that we built in, which we're very proud of as a part of and has been very successful is to enable a child of any grade to have access to one grade above and below for their learning gaps or learning extension. Children across have various small gaps as they grow up into the system. But when they do complex concepts, there are times where you shy away from asking a basic concept. There are times when you want to explore it in your own personal space. And that is how the space of enabling going up and below one class, up and below, helps them. It also enables students to actually create a space where there is right from adrenaline rush of gamified quizzing to a very safe practice mode test where they can make as much mistakes and learn from it and work around. Well, we heard an invigorating piece on the NEP, and I think there is nothing known as a perfect policy that ever comes. But I think this is a policy that's liberating. It's liberating from the time and mind of restricting children to various streams of education to choose, than to really now say that you can learn the concepts and the subjects that you really wish to see. And we're aligning basis to the entire new structure proposed. I come to the tenets of anything that will be successful when you're looking at a digital solution that will always work. And I think these are the three rules through which you need to work through. Any system that has to be successful has to work on a low bandwidth. And the marker is essentially like if the WhatsApp works, it should work. It should be platform agnostic. You cannot expect your users to confine to a particular kind of a Windows or an Android or an Apple, and it has to be device agnostic. Somebody working on a desktop with internet to somebody working on a tablet or a mobile phone or a smart TV should all have an equally strong and a sustainable experience. And that is why it is important that when you're choosing a platform, you need to understand how the platform is actually created and what is the vision behind it. I mean, as at FlipLearn, we believe that irrespective of the time, place, the device, or the platform, whether you are a teacher, you're a parent, or you're a school management, whether it is about learning or assessment or creating a personalized journey for the child, we have to remember that the child is at the heart of it. At the end of the day, we're not using live conferencing platforms to run cinema halls. At the end of the day, every act that we do as a part of the learning process has to keep the child at the heart, to enable and create a better space as we together define the India of tomorrow. Because whatever we do and all of our actions will define how this country will evolve in the next 20, 30 years, because it is the India's tomorrow that's in our schools today. And it is important that we enable them in different ways, use the best pieces, and work through in working with enabling to make a better piece. I believe in huge collaborations, and I wish APAC a huge success, and to all the people who are participating in the APAC event. It is time we all collaborate. There is no one fit right solution, but we can evolve to make it a better India of tomorrow and enable every school in this country to create their own blended learning path. Thank you so much, Sudhir, and thank you, the APAC team, for your time.
Thank you very much, Divya, for that wonderful presentation, furthering the digital India, digital learning vision of Government of India. And of course, there is a need, much needed time for